In this video I want to show you how to calculate the basic operations like addition, multiplication, division and so on in polar form. So first we start with addition and subtraction, and the bad news is that this is not possible in polar form. If you want to add or subtract two complex numbers in polar form, you have to first transform them into Cartesian form. Next basic operations are conjugation and absolute value, and both of them are very easy. For conjugating a polar form r times e to the power of phi I, you just invert the sign of the angle. So the conjugate of r times e to the power of phi I is r times e to the power of minus phi I. And the absolute value of this number is just the factor r, the factor that is in front of the e to the power of phi I. So for example, the conjugate of the number 5e to the power of minus pi third I is 5e to the power of pi third I. And the absolute value of this number is simply 5, the factor in front of the exponent expression. Multiplication in polar form is easy too. You just multiply the two factors r1 times r2 and you add the angles phi and psi. So for instance, 2 times e to the power of pi fourth I times 3e to the power of pi half I. So you multiply the factors 2 and 3. 2 times 3 is 6. And you add the angles. Pi fourth plus pi half is 3 pi divided by 4. A second example, we multiply the two numbers 2/3 e to the power of 4 pi third I and the number 6e to the power of 5 pi third I. We multiply the factors. 2/3 times 6 is 4, and we add the angles. 4 pi third plus 5 pi third is 9 pi third. 9 divided by 3 is 3, so we have 4e to the power of 3 pi I, and because 3 pi I is greater than 2 pi, it's 2 pi plus pi. This angle is the same as the angle pi, which is 180 degrees. In order to divide two numbers in polar form, you divide the factors and you subtract the angles. So, for example, we have 1 plus I divided by I. We transform the numbers in polar form. 1 plus I in polar form is square root of 2 times e to the power of pi fourth I, and I, the denominator, in polar form is e to the power of pi half I. We divide the factors. Square root of 2 divided by 1 is square root of 2, and we subtract the angles. Pi fourth minus pi half is minus pi fourth. And the polar form, square root of 2 times e raised to the power of minus pi fourth I, is transformed back into a Cartesian form, which is 1 minus I. The last operation is exponentiation. The number re to the power of phi I raised to the power of n is r to the power of n times e n times phi I. So the factor is raised to the power of n and the angle is multiplied with n. As an example, we choose z equals 1 plus I, and we want to calculate z to the power of 10. So first we transform it into polar form, which is square root of 2 times e to the power of pi fourth I, and now we raise it to the power of 10. So we raise a factor to the power of 10, square root of 2 to the power of 10, and multiply the angle by 10, which is 10 times pi fourth. Square root of 2 to the power of 10 is square root of 2 squared, and the whole thing to the power of 5, because 2 times 5 is 10. And the angle 10 pi fourth is the same as 5 pi half. Square root of 2 squared is 2, so we have 2 to the power of 5 times e to the power of 5 pi half I. 2 to the power of 5 is 32, and 5 pi half is greater than 2 pi. It's 2 pi plus pi half, so the whole number is 32 e to the power of pi half I, and e to the power of pi half I, pi half is the angle 90 degrees, so this is just 32 I.